Let's talk about programming books. You pick one up, and it feels, well, like a chore, right? But what if it felt like an epic adventure instead? That's exactly the idea behind the book we're breaking down today. We're diving into Building Bitcoin in Rust, a guide that frames learning two incredibly powerful technologies not as work, but as a genuine coder's quest. So, let's get into it.
And right from the get-go, the author, Lukasz Hozda, hits you with this incredible line. He's not just some instructor, he's setting himself up to be our personal guide through what can feel like a pretty intimidating world of systems programming. It's this promise of a guided, personal journey that completely changes the game.
And this whole journey is driven by a really interesting philosophy. The author makes a point to separate his book from what he calls sterile intellectual exercises. Instead, he compares it to a perfect cheeseburger from the movie The Menu. Something made with real passion, real care. It's a bit quirky for sure, but it's a fantastic way of saying, hey, this is about craftsmanship, not just cold, hard code.
So what exactly is this quest? Well, it's about a lot more than just typing lines of code. It's a journey into building something real, something substantial, using two of the most fascinating tools in the tech world today.
On one hand, you've got Rust. The book calls it the up-and-coming star of programming languages, and for good reason. It's known for its incredible safety and speed. And on the other hand, you have Bitcoin, the time-tested golden standard of crypto. The whole point is to learn Rust by building your very own simplified Bitcoin from scratch.
But hey, before you can start any great quest, what do you need? You need a map. And for this adventure, our map is the original blueprint for Bitcoin itself, the one document that started a revolution.
So our journey kicks off by diving straight into Satoshi Nakamoto's original Bitcoin white paper. Now, this isn't some huge, dense textbook. It's just 9 pages. But it's the foundational text, the map we're going to follow to build our own version. It's all about understanding the why before we even touch the how.
Okay, so at the very heart of Bitcoin is this concept that makes the whole thing tick without a central bank. Proof of work. It's a super clever mechanism for creating trust where there is none. By making computers on the network, we call them nodes, spend real energy to solve a puzzle, it makes cheating incredibly hard and expensive. That's what one CPU, one vote is all about.
And this proof-of-work idea isn't just a theory, right? It powers this constant 6-step cycle that's basically the heartbeat of the network. It all starts when a new transaction is broadcast to everyone. Then, all the nodes collect these transactions into a new block and start working on that puzzle. As soon as one node finds the solution, it broadcasts the whole block. The other nodes check it, and if everything's valid, they accept it. And just like that, the whole network starts working on the next block in the chain. It's this beautiful repeating process that keeps everything secure.
And this whole idea of challenging the old system, it's literally baked into Bitcoin's DNA. Hidden in the code of the very first block ever created, the Genesis block, is this headline from the Times. It's not just a random timestamp, it's a permanent statement, a critique of the traditional financial system that Bitcoin was built to be an alternative to.
So, from that massive, world-changing beginning, we come to your beginning. The book draws this brilliant line connecting Bitcoin's origin to the very first step every single programmer takes, a simple hello world in Rust. It's this great reminder that even the biggest, most revolutionary systems start with one simple line of code.
All right, so we get the quest, we get the map, but who is this adventure actually for? The book is super clear about who the ideal adventurer is and what kind of gear you need to bring along.
Okay, first things first, let's be real, this book is not for absolute programming beginners. It's really designed for IT students or pros or maybe Bitcoin fans who already know how to code a bit. It's for someone who wants to learn Rust by tackling a seriously rewarding project, not for someone looking for a quick and easy win. Rust has a notoriously steep learning curve, and this book just leans right into it.
So to really succeed on this quest, you kind of need to have a few things in your tool belt already. You need to be familiar with low-level concepts, stuff like pointers, which Rust cleverly calls borrows, and how your computer manages memory with the stack and the heap. And since you're building a networked app, you definitely need to understand threads, how to handle multiple things happening at once. These aren't just abstract ideas, they're the core building blocks you'll need.
But don't worry, you're not just thrown into the deep end. The book is super practical. It walks you step by step through setting up your entire coding environment. We're talking everything from installing Rust itself to getting your editor kitted out with powerful tools, making sure you have all the support you need for the journey ahead. So, with our map decoded and our tools ready to go, what's the end game here? What are we actually building? Well, by the end of this whole quest, you will have built the 3 core pieces of your very own simplified Bitcoin client, completely from scratch.
First up, you're going to build the miner. This is the workhorse, the program that does all the heavy lifting and actually solves that complex proof-of-work puzzle we talked about, securing the network and earning rewards. Next, you'll build the node. This is the heart of the whole system. This is the application that stores the entire blockchain, validates all the new transactions, and talks to all the other nodes to keep everyone in agreement.
And finally, you'll build the wallet. This is your interface to the world. It's the piece that lets you actually interact with your new blockchain, create transactions, and send your brand new coins to other people.
But let's back up for a second. Why Rest for Bitcoin? Why the specific combination? It's more than just a technical decision. It actually comes down to a shared ideology, a cool concept the author calls the Handsome philosophy.
So what on earth does handsome mean when you're talking about code? Well, it's not about how it looks on the screen. It's about elegant, effective design. A piece of technology is handsome when it just has this undeniable quality, when its logic is beautiful, and when it all just makes sense. And honestly, both Rust and Bitcoin fit that description perfectly. And this brings us to the most important connection of all. Both of these technologies live by the principle of don't trust, verify. Bitcoin does this by taking trust out of the hands of banks and putting it into the unbreakable laws of math and cryptography. And in a really similar way, Rust takes trust out of the programmer's hands and gives it to its powerful compiler, which verifies that your code is memory safe before you can even run it. They are both systems built from the ground up on verification, not blind trust.
When you boil it all down, this book is so much more than a technical manual. It's really a call to action. It's an invitation to take on a challenge that actually means something, to build with purpose, and to find that adventurous, creative spark in programming again. So the only real question left is, are you ready to start your quest?